it's Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style, and I was recently asked to do a makeup tutorial on makeup for grey hair. Now, there's not a huge difference between makeup for grey hair and non-grey hair because it's really based on your skin tone, your skin texture, and your colouring and what works for you. But there are probably a couple of little things that might be a little bit different as your hair goes grey. You may want to reassess your colours. Maybe it's about the brightness, the intensity of your colours if your hair is getting more muted. And also, for me, it's all about the eyebrows. It's the eyebrows that have made the biggest difference. That's the one big change I have made as far as colours go in my makeup routine. So, off with the makeup and on with the tutorial. The first step in my makeup routine is to get rid of under eye bags. So for this, I have a advanced wear concealer. It's a really long wearing product. You need the tiniest amount to make it work. Now, I like to apply it, get a little bit off, put it on with my finger, and then dab it with a damp sponge like this. And because my eyesight is going, I need a good magnifying mirror to do my makeup. It makes it so much easier than any of those sort of flipping the glasses things that you can get. Just get yourself a good little magnifying mirror that you can hold up close and you'll be able to see what you are doing. So I'm just applying it right into the corners because that's the darkest part of where my eyes are, and then just spreading it out, and then I'm just going to grab my dab sponge to just even it out a little bit. Now, I don't like to put on too much, and you can always add more after your foundation if you wear a foundation, if you feel like you need a bit more. So then I'm going to pop on my foundation, just need a little bit. This is my liquid jojoba foundation. I really like. It's light, it's got a nice texture, it's not heavy at all, and goes on really easily. It has a little bit of SPF in it as well, but I also always put on sunscreen every day. So I just have a moisturiser that has a sunscreen in it, and in summer I will put on a higher kind of sunscreen, but generally my moisturiser will have a SPF 15 in it for every day. Since we're going into winter at the moment, or the colder weather, doesn't matter as much, but I will always wear a sunscreen because, you know, when I was young I read that 80% of wrinkles came from sun damage, and so I just went, well, you know, my vanity more than anything else, more than worrying about skin cancer, which I have had a couple of skin cancers cut off the side of my nose, just basal cell carcinomas, same sort of skin cancers that Hugh Jackman has had, cut off his nose as well. I've had those cut off, so don't really want to have any more. So always popping on and then just gently blending it. You can use your fingers, you can use a brush like this. I really like this sort of flat, stubby, sometimes they call it a kabuki brush, this sort of brush for putting on a foundation. I much prefer it to the old-fashioned foundation brushes, which are more like paint brushes. My makeup palette, and this is colours I use all the time based on my colouring and colours I wear, and fantastic for travel. My mineral powder, and then I like blush colour, and then eye colours, which, you know, all in one. So easy for me to use. So then I just put that all over, finishes everything off. The next thing I will do is put on my blush. So I just am using, it's Mauve Rose is the colour I use. It's just got a nice, gentle, cool pink. Bronzers really don't work, and I have tried and I have looked at lots of different bronzers, and I've been to Sephora and Mecca and places like that looking for a bronzer that is cool enough, and I have never found a bronzer that is cool enough, and so they just always look weird and warm on my skin. Now, if you really want to do contouring, this is where I'd recommend maybe a mineral powder that's a shade or two darker, but that's probably better than a bronzer. The bronzers just tend to have too much gold and too much warmth in them, and even the coolest ones I found and the coolest contouring sticks I found still seem weirdly warm. So I've just found for my cool skin they don't work. So my next step is a bit of eyeshadow base. Put all over your eyes. I find that it just stops my eyeshadow from moving, so just rub a little bit on. And then that gives my eyeshadow something that really, it holds onto really well. So then I'm going to get my base colour. So depending on my mood and what I'm wearing, I'll use either one of these two. This is Seashell Pink and this one is Hugs and Kisses. So today I might go Seashell Pink. So the pink, and this is where when you're choosing colours for your eyeshadow, it should relate to the, you know, your colour palette. And so for me, a pink makes my eyes look bluer, because pink and red are two parts of a triad on the colour wheel, and so when we wear something that's actually a bit more different from our eye colour, it actually helps to magnify it and make that colour look brighter. So green eyes, especially an olivey green eye, can look good with a warm purple colour. A brown eye can look great with a, you know, a navy colour as well. So I just pop that all over my whole eye area. It's called Cashmere Matte. And it's a slightly kind of grey brown. And so what I'm going to do is just pop that in that kind of C shape up onto my brow bone, because I've got like the overhang. I've got a fairly deep set eye. And then this bit of skin here, of course, is sagging with age. And so what I'm doing is popping it up onto my brow bone. So just underneath my eyebrow. And that helps to push back the that brow bone and droop, rather than putting it all over my whole eyelid. I don't have the big protruding eyelids. I don't have really obvious eyelids like the movable bit, and so I need more light, and I always want to keep this bit next to my nose lighter because that helps to brighten eyes up. So, and look, one of my big tips is if you ever feel like you've gone too heavy or gone too dark, just go back with your light colour and just wash it over the top, and that also blends in the two colours together, so makes it easy. So when I'm putting on an eyeliner, I prefer a eyeshadow as an eyeliner rather than using a pencil. Now there's nothing wrong with pencils, but I find because, you know, my skin is not quite as taut and beautiful as it was when I was 20 years younger, I find a darker eyeshadow works really well as an eyeliner because it is much softer than a pencil and it blends a little bit more. And it's also easier to put on because it doesn't drag across your skin, particularly as your skin gets older. So the colours I use would be one of these three, depending what I'm feeling like and depending what I'm wearing. So if I'm wearing kind of tealy colours, I might go for this dark green. It looks almost like a grey green when you're wearing it. Sometimes I wear this navy blue. Other times I'll wear this deep grey colour, all of which work with my palette and work with my colouring. So then what I do is I just start at the outside of my eye and I just gently draw on a little, like slightly wider at the outside edge and then a thinner line. Now, normally I'm doing this without having to hold the mirror. So one of the things you can do is lift yourself from the brow bone. That really helps to move your skin away as you are applying the eyeliner. So that for me, if you lift like that, that's what I'd normally do when I'm doing it in my bathroom rather than at my desk. I just put a little bit on the outside and on the top. So for me, that's my bit of eyeliner. Now, the other thing I do, and I find this can be a bit of fun, but also too is it has got a bit of an eye brightening effect, is to go for a light colour. So today I'm going to go for this silver colour. But otherwise I might use this kind of more skin tone colour, but I'm going to use for this silver, and I'm just going to pop that right in the corners of my eyes, and also just at the top of my bottom lashes. So you can see what it's doing is it's giving some brightness to my eyes as well. So not all eyeliner has to be dark and heavy. It can also be light and bright in a way, which helps to brighten up your eyes. So actually having something really bright in these corners, using the Hugs and Kisses colour, this nude but it's got a little bit of sheen colour, also in the corners of your eyes, can also be lightening and brightening. Then I'll want to do my eyebrows. So my eyebrows have faded away a lot. I do dye them in a bit. Now, it doesn't work as well dyeing them brown. I've managed to find some grey dye. I need to go for greys or potentially a taupe, depends how much brown you have in your hair left. So you want to kind of start thinking about matching your eyebrows to your hair. I'll either go for a grey eyebrow pencil rather than a brown one, or something that maybe is a little bit, or a grey shadow, or otherwise I'll use my brow definer, and this is like a felt tip pen, and it has kind of like, it's taupe, but it really is, it's a very grey sort of taupe rather than being a grey brown. I found that the taupe colours I was wearing when I was blonde just look weirdly brown. They look way too warm on my face now that I have the grey hair. I don't want too dark either. So especially with eyeshadow pencils, you don't want it to be too dark. So, that's a darker grey, and this is like a lighter, it's called a pewter. And so that for me now is much better than that sort of darker grey colour. So I just gently want to put that on, and just because particularly as my eyebrows have disappeared, I've got a little gap there, and I'm just really just following the line of my brows, and your kind of start point, end point, and I'm filling any gaps in. So an old mascara wand is a great thing to brush your brows with. You can buy these, brushes that look like this. They're called spoolies. Once you've put on whatever it is you're using on your brow, then just a bit of mascara. This is a brown black rather than a black black, but a brown black looks dark enough. I always call mascara my desert island product. If I had to be stuck on a desert island with only one makeup product, it would be mascara. Though probably if I was stuck on a desert island by myself, I wouldn't be wearing makeup. I always like to check if I have got little dots. One of my little things is, if you do get little dots of mascara, just get a little bit of your foundation on a cotton bud. Like, you just need a teeny tiny bit. But it just makes it a little bit easier to clean around the eye area. And just clean that up without dragging all your concealer and everything that you've actually taken off already. So the last thing for me now is lipstick. Really, I wear pretty much the same lipstick colours most of the time. I wear some sort of pink, unless I'm wearing red, and then I'll wear a cool red. But the rest of the time, I wear this basically pretty much the same lipstick. So I have a lip liner. This one's called Cherry Wine. It was very 90s just to line your lips and have a dark colour on the lips and light in the middle. For me, I always like go round, and you can see I'm using it very much on its side and filling in the lip area. I don't go outside of my lips. I know some people say you can do that. I always think it looks a bit weird. And then my lip colour I'm going to wear is a colour called Ultimately Lavender, which is a lighter pink with a bit of sheen in it. And I like to have a bit of sheen because I have a face with a bit of sheen. And so a bit of sheen works well for me. But of course some people prefer a more matte colour or a colour without sheen. So that is my favourite everyday lip combination. Stays on very well. If that's not officially a long wear lipstick, I find by putting the lip liner underneath, it does hold my makeup on for longer. So that is my makeup for me, for grey hair. Really the thing that's changed the most is my eyebrows, the colour I put on my eyebrows. Otherwise, everything else has remained fairly much the same. It's just been over the years. I never used to need a concealer. Now I find that it makes a difference. But other than that, my colours stay pretty much the same. I don't need huge amounts of makeup. This is really this and, the lipstick, the lip liner, the eyebrow pencil, the brush, that's pretty much all I have. Oh, where's the mascara? And the mascara. That's all I have and all I really need for my makeup. You know what? I actually timed myself the other day, and I was not talking whilst I was doing it, and it took me 4 minutes to put it on. So it doesn't have to take long, doesn't have to be a huge effort every day, and of course you don't have to do as much as I do. Not everybody wants to wear eye makeup, but it is totally up to you about what you like and what works for you.